Before I even do this interview, I want to just give a disclaimer.
Okay.
My
Okay.
family, loved ones, and Fox, and whoever the hell else, because I'm really upset right now, and I'm probably gonna just mask off. My shoulder is fucking torn. I'm really upset because I didn't say anything during the fight because that's what a champion does. I went out there and I completely dominated a fighter who once again was on a 7-fight win streak. Everybody else that went into this person's, their little door box of tools was either taken down, submitted, or controlled, or dominated themselves. Same thing with Stephen Thompson. 7-fight win streak, beat former champions, former number one contenders, and I went out there and I outclassed both fighters. So the lack of respect, not only from the fans or true mixed martial artists, or people who understand what's going on and what I'm actually out there painting greatness. I'm beating people at their world class art. He was 21, 22, however many shots, came up sharp. How many times have you seen Damian Maia shoot that many takedowns and not at least secure one of them, even come close to one? So I don't care so much about the fans, but when your job title is promoter, promote your fucking fighters. Promote your champions. Don't demote your champions. I threw my shoulder out in the first round. I wasn't able to throw any damaging shots. For you guys that don't understand what a labrum tear is, go get on Google, Wikipedia, and figure it out. And I still stayed the course. I stayed on task. I stayed on point. I executed the game plan. I had to reduce all my shots from overhands, uppercuts, things that was hurting my shoulder, to straight punches. I didn't even tell my coaches until I was getting my medicals done afterwards. So when I'm out here fighting number one contenders back to back to back, and everybody else like Bisping gets to take a long ass hiatus, faking a knee injury, not fighting Yoel, coming back fighting George, fighting Dan Henderson outside of the freaking top 15, and then that's not even getting on Conor. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do, and I'm the one that let me say I want to fight George St. Pierre, who just so happened to be a goddamn welterweight, who was a champion. Let me say I want to fight him, and the fans go nuts, and they go crazy, and I haven't earned a big title fight, and I'm not a draw, and I'm boring when I have 9 first-round finishes. That is the stupidest shit ever. So, sorry in advance. I'm mad because I've had this surgery before. It's not a fun one. It's not a quick recovery. It's not something that I'm excited about. I'm going to get a couple second opinions. I'm in the Uber right now. I just fucking got out the doctor's office, like right this second, with paperwork in my hand. So I'm owed a public apology. If you're going to publicly scrutinize me, Dana White, you publicly need to apologize to me. I've done nothing but good stuff for the sport. I've done nothing but be a good model for the fucking organization. I go out there, I fight with integrity. I covered your sport from the Fox desk a week before my fight. I always uphold my responsibilities with the organization. It's time out for that. It's the word behind business is man. You need to be a man. You owe me a public apology. And if I don't get that, I'm going to start leaking some shit if people don't want to be out in the wind. And I'm not even kidding about that.
Whoa. What are you referring to?
Well, they know what I'm referring to.
Okay.
I'm due a public apology.
Do you think you'll get it?
I better get it.
What?
I'm tired of it. Like think about me and Stephen Thompson fight 1 and fight 2. Aaron, what was really the difference between the first and second fight? It was really not much different. There was some casing. There was some waiting. There was some evaluating. There was some counter punching. It was me hurting him to a point where the referee looked like he was going to get in. One fight was deemed fight of the night, UFC 205 in November. The second fight got crazy scrutiny. Nobody scrutinized Damian Maia. Hey, why didn't you outstrike Tyron? Why didn't you stand in the pocket with him? Why didn't you exchange? Why didn't you push forward and hit him? Why weren't you able to take him down? But I'm the champion. I get the scrutiny. Nobody scrutinized Stephen Thompson. I overheard Dana White tell Stephen Thompson, "Oh, don't let the fans get to you. Let them get in here with Tyron Woodley." I never heard those remarks. I never got the, "Hey, I take responsibility for Sage Northcutt's loss. I knew he had the flu. I shouldn't have never let him fight." Like everybody else gets an excuse made for, but I'm the fighter who's out here against all odds, against all critics, against all naysayers, against all haters, still with my hat on, still with the booze, still with everything, going and doing my job. I just need respect.
Did you watch his press conference or any of his interviews after the fight?
No, I didn't watch it because I'm a man. I went up to him myself.
Oh.
I said, I heard I got a little smoke. And he said, yeah, when you have, the fight with the least amount of significant strikes or least amount of strikes thrown or landed, whatever it was, you deserve a little smoke. I said, but also, you also need to look the stats. Why is Joe Rogan the first stat he speak to me about the strikes? How about you speak how many takedowns was defended? What is his game plan? Am I supposed to take him down? What would you like to see him different? You like to see me take Damian Maia down and submit him? I would like to see him just stand with me and knock me out. It's a double-edged sword. So I said that. Then I basically, I said, with that said, this is the number one contender. Many guys had the remedy. Carlos Condon had the remedy. What happened to Carlos? What happened to Matt Brown? What happened to Neil Magny? What happened to Gunnar Nelson, who was a jiu-jitsu black belt, known for his craft? What happened to him when he got on the campus? There's only been one guy in the UFC that I've seen personally, Jake Shields and Chris Weidman, I think, due to size, was able to, get in his guard and neutralize his hips. But not many guys have been successful on the canvas with Damian Maia. It's just not smart. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I say, you know what? You have your own opinion. I have my own opinion, but I'm a man. I'm going to come and voice it to you. Pull me to the side. Tyron, you should fight like this. You're champion. You're capable of more. Come and tell me that first. That's my issue. What happened to your golden boy Conor McGregor when he couldn't get Nate Diaz out and he was missing too many punches? He folded and he quit. He laid on his stomach and not even a super deep rear naked choke. He quit. My shoulder popped out. Not once, 3 times in that fight. I felt it the first time. I've had a labrum tear before. I'm like, oh, shit, I think I tore my labrum. And then I threw a couple more overhand rights, and each time it threw out. I threw a punch to the body, and it came out. And I missed the punch, and it felt like it slipped out. But what do I have to do? I said, this dude's not taking my belt. He's not walking out of here with the octagon and saying that new. He's not going to put on that jersey that I know they got down there by ringside that they want to put on him so fucking bad. He would not wear that today. And that's what I did. So that's why I'm upset. I'm upset because I don't get the simple courtesy of a human, the simple integrity that if you have a problem, come talk to me first. I got thick skin. I've had some terrible fights where, I deserve a little smoke for it. And guess what? Did I complain when somebody said something about how Rory whipped my ass? He whipped my ass. I didn't fight that night. He came out and he gave it to me. Never have one day made an excuse. Never one day took anything away from the kid. Never begged for a rematch. He took it to me that day. I didn't bring it to the table. He brought it to me. Never complained about name mark or knockout. Never complained about, Jake Shields I complained about a little bit because I thought I won. But I know I didn't go out there and do exactly what I needed to do to dominantly convince that I got the victory. So when I go out there and I'm executed, and we're not talking about a month, Eric, we're talking about 4 weeks. Like all the smoke and mirrors is gone. I wasn't training for Damian Maia. I was training because that's my job. I got the same day notice that he got on that Wednesday. We announced it on UFC Tonight. I went to the meds the next day, and we had 3 weeks to get ready to fight. What athlete can come out there and look like I did, cardio-wise, timing-wise, being sharp, accurate, defense, in a 3-week training camp? Like, y'all need to give me a break, like, for real. The thing is, I know what to expect. I know what to expect out of people. I don't expect more out of a person than what they've shown me in the past. So with that said, I never expected the George St. Pierre fight. You heard me at the press conference. He said, no, man, if you win, you're getting a shot. He didn't say, hey, if you win in dominant fashion, if you win by TKO, if you win by knockout, if you submit him, if you brutally batter his face. He said, if you win. W-I-N. That was the word. So was I surprised? Did you even see me react in a negative way when you guys said, "Oh, well, Dana White said Bisping was getting"? I already knew that.
Yeah.
I heard them on the phone earlier this week in a podcast. It wasn't contingent on anything in my fight. My fight had nothing to do with that. They were going to fight anyway. And you know what? This is a funny thing. Me and my coaches are thrilled with my performance. We executed the game plan to a T. Every fight, I can't go out there and utilize my explosive wrestling. I can't stand in the pocket too close. You know, in previous fights when I'm still, my back's against the cage, I've not thrived in those moments. That's why you saw me moving a lot more. That's why you saw me punching. That's why you saw me level changing and feinting and throwing shots to the body, bringing shots back up to the head, throwing inside kicks, being out of the way when he tried to come forward, counter him very well, not engaging into the grappling war when I dropped him to the canvas. I picked him apart. That's the number one contender. That's not a random guy out the mix, a last-minute replacement. That's the number one contender in the welterweight division, which, in my opinion, that alongside with the bantamweight division are the two most stacked, toughest divisions in the world. And I'm beating the top of the top. Like, everybody's not going to get knocked out. Sorry, fans. Oh, don't let it leave it to the judges. That sounds great. But guess what? You're not going to just come and knock me out. My opponents don't want to be knocked out. That's why they're at the top. You know what I mean? So it doesn't surprise me, you know. And just for the record, I just want my apology because I had this conversation, and I just want fans. You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. You don't have to hate me. You don't have to anything. You just got to know what I'm here for. You know what I mean? You got to know why I'm fighting, why the hell I'm in the sport, why is it important that I'm still here to this day, and you just got to respect me. You cannot like me. You can boo me. You cannot watch me. You can do whatever the hell you want to, but at the end of the day, you won't tell me who I am. I know who I am. I know why I'm in this sport. I know what my job is to do. My job is not done. I'm going to rehab my shoulder like a goddamn madman, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to make examples out of everybody they put in front of me.